The Stony Brook Solar Racing Team is an interdisciplinary team with a variety of majors including mechanical, electrical, and computer engineers, as well as computer science, applied mathematics, and business majors. We first attended in 1998, winning Best Rookie Team. After that, we won first place overall in 2014. Recently, after 5 years away from competition, we won a decent 5th place overall last year. Because the main goal last year was to merely have a completed boat for competition, this year we decided to redesign most systems in our boat to improve our performance. This proved easier said than done due to the fact that we made a decision to have our boat detach into 2 pieces for ease of transport. This mechanical team had to focus on this project for the majority of the year, which left little time to test other systems that they would have needed to work on. However, we have been able to have 2 test runs in Lake Ronkonkoma this year. Additionally, the motor control system and the data acquisition system have been redesigned to better our performance. Our hope is that we are able to do better than last year, as well as have a better understanding of what optimizations can be further done for the boat as well as the club.
Hi, my name is Franklin, and I am the mech lead for the solar racing team at Stony Brook this year. Last year, like Andrew said, our goal was to simply get a functional boat for the competition. This year, as for the mech team, we decided to implement a lot of changes that will improve its functionality, weight, as well as other general changes. First off, we had to cut the boat in order to be able to transport it easily due to its size.
I cut this boat in half!
We have made major changes to the boat in order to optimize it for competition. The first major change we did was the implementation of a drop-down gearbox. The drop-down gearbox is a system that connects the inner and outer drivetrains, and what it does is it helps submerge the propeller in order to fully optimize it instead of our last year's half submerged design, which did not fully utilize the propeller. Our second change was the throttle system change. We changed out the foot throttle for a simple hand throttle. This reduces the weight since the foot throttle we used last year was a heavy steel throttle, which was definitely not as optimal since first it required constant skipper attention due to the home spring, which will pull it back to zero. With the hand throttle, we could simply set and forget, where we could set it at a simple impedance, and it will stay at that range until it's changed. Our third major change is the steering system. The steering system change, where we decided to switch out the steel frame steering system with a simple hand-pulled push-pull cable, reduced the clunkiness of the rack and pinion system, as well as the large amount of weight it added onto the boat. These changes have proved critical to our designs, since it not only made the boat lighter, but also way more efficient.
Hello, I'm William Winters, and I was the electrical team lead of the solar racing team this year. The electrical system definitely had a lot of room for improvement over last year. We were very underpowered. We had only one motor controller, which was, I think, too small for either motor. The wiring was a little bit messy, and we had some failures. The solar charge controller was oversized. One set of our batteries were underweight. And we had a throttle that was hard to control for the endurance race. We also didn't have very much data collection. This year, we fixed a lot of that. We have 2 motor controllers, including a brand new one from Altrax Incorporated, one of our sponsors. So we should push the motors closer to their maximum capacity. We've also held ourselves to a much higher standard for our wiring, and I hope that it makes potential problems easier to troubleshoot, and it makes the whole system more reliable overall. We experimented with using wiring diagrams, which you'd think that we would have done that already, but I didn't really see the point of it until I did it myself. We were unable to get a new solar charge controller, so we bought an inexpensive one off of Amazon, and hopefully it'll be good enough for competition. We also couldn't get new batteries, so we're making do with the ones that we have, maybe with some spare batteries thrown in so that we get closer to the weight limit. We went through a lot of iterations for a new design for the throttle, but in the end, we just ended up with a knob that you turn, which should be good for the endurance race, and I hope that it will also be good enough for the sprint and the slalom. We also have been working on a new data collection system, and I think that it'll be good. At the time of recording, it's still not all the way done, and competition is right around the corner, but I'm confident that we can get it done, and when we do, it'll be everything that we need. We've made a lot of progress this year. I'm very proud of how far we've come, and I'm excited to see how we do against the other teams at competition.
Hi, my name's Wesley. I'm part of the Stony Brook Solar Racing team. This is my second year being a part of the team, and I've had a lot of fun. Being part of the team has taught me to stay dedicated to something, not just the club, but to projects, the individual things that we work on. Once you start it, it's going to be your responsibility to get that project done and get it complete for the boat. The most fun I've had this year would be the wet tests. The wet tests are always fun. It's nice to see when everything actually works and all the effort you put into the boat comes to fruition.
Hello, my name is Kumpu. This will be my third year on the team and my second time going to Solar Splash. So I'm admittedly the person solely responsible for cutting the boat in half. The decision definitely didn't come lightly. It was a whole year's effort in order to get where we are now, compared to where we were last year, single boat, almost always outside, to where we are now, which is boat in two pieces, held together. So it's one piece, and it's almost always indoors. The benefits are just enormous. We really didn't have any issues with the move or cutting the boat in half, besides the fact that when we did get the boat in the shop, it was much too big. It happens. The boat's kind of big. I wish it was smaller. I was very excited to see the boat back in the water after the cut. You don't hear of boats going back into the water after they get cut in half, except one. It's kind of famous. Features Phil Swift. You may have heard of it. I'm sure. It leaked, yeah, but it stayed afloat. That's really all that mattered. If nothing else worked, I was just glad that we still had a boat, a hull to work with. We definitely wouldn't have been able to get this far and keep our boat afloat without our great sponsors and partners: Chomarat, PowerFilm Solar, Nordic Composite Technologies, SolidWorks, IACMI, the Composites Institute, Owens Corning, East Lake Axle, Repairer Drone, the Home Depot, Stony Brook University's College of Engineering and Applied Sciences, Electrical and Computer Engineering, and the Department of Mechanical Engineering.